Hello, hello. Welcome in. We're still in round 4 here as we have Chaotic Blaze, the 32 seed, facing against Sleepy Callers, our number 10 seed. Who've been quite upset throughout the brackets and now find themselves towards the bottom, working their way back up. And you even have a surprise factor in this 32 seed. Right now, what a pull there from Latence, getting the flash out of XiaoDanny. Do they fall out? Flash coming in from like a Moss. Looking for first blood, picking it up with the clockwork wind-up auto. What a start there from Chaotic Blaze. Nice rotations from Latence. Showing up in the mid lane. And this is something I was even going to praise when we looked at Chaotic Blaze the last time, was like a Moss here in this mid lane. Is someone who I've seen before in tier 3s. This is a player I feel like just has not gotten enough credit for how good of a player they have been throughout their tenure. They've always kind of been towards like the bottom of the standings with a lot of teams. But this is a player who has always had these highlights. We saw the quadra kill Hui moment. And here, getting first blood under the minute mark. Comes back to the lane already with that Dark Seal. XiaoDanny is really going to struggle here into this mid lane. So I'm looking at Excelsis and how they now have to play around Moss. Is Orianna getting that early kill? Of course, it's not going to mean the lane is over by any means for XiaoDanny. But it does give it a little bit more power once we get to that level 6. And you have these critical ults that are going to be available. I didn't even talk that Cyan is playing Jungle Rumble, the Rumble in the jungle. Man, I would have loved to have seen drafted, seen how that went. What was it? First pick Rumble into Azir Xin Zhao into Vars Cassante and Rakan maybe next. Then after that, you get the Aatrox. I would imagine Aatrox, then Orianna, Nautilus, and round it out with the last pick, Ezreal. That's what my guess is. It's just an educated guess here. Anyways, some level of experience leads. Sleepy Callers. At least getting a bit of that push here in the bot lane. It's going to be frozen. Right outside of the turret aggro for KurfYou and Latence. Excelsis even hanging out. Threatening a dive. A mobile here on this Vars. Waiting it out. Backing up the 3 talent strike. Getting the knock of the flash. With the flash from KurfYou. Make sure they turn around the play. Sleepy Callers falling asleep at the wheel. Tragedy there for Excelsis. Was even getting the 3 talent strike ready for the play. But KurfYou outplaying them all. And nobody falling for Chaotic Blaze there in that bot lane. All right, well, I said out of the mid lane, it's like, that's not going to really do too much for XiaoDanny. You know, against XiaoDanny, he'll be fine. He'll get back into the game. A double kill this early for KurfYou on a Varus. Is that enough for a serrated Dirk? Yeah, you're going to come back into lane with serrated. And we go top lane now. Diesel in a bit of an issue here. Almost pulled in. It was a good flash there to escape danger. Oh, but KurfYou's actually not going for the poke Vars build. Instead, going for that on hit. Rushing the boots there in those Berserkers. I was expecting a little bit more poke to contend against Bazz here. But no, KurfYou. All right. I mean, I should have expected that with the lethal tempo, right? Look at that. Now we go mid lane. dtro. Bit out. Latence did not want to start that off. XiaoDanny. We'll get the recall. Come back into lane. Recurve bow in the inventory. TPing in momentarily. But these early plays for our 32 seed here in Chaotic Blaze. Getting them a gargantuan lead here at just 5 minutes into the game. Almost 2,000 between the two teams. And even looking bot lane. As dtro attempted a bit of an engage. Just takes a couple auto attacks. Looking at the blights that were stacking there. KurfYou didn't want to throw the arrow at him. Instead, trying to chip at Bazz, knowing that that's really the issue. But top lane, Jbear rumbling against Diesel. A lot of skirmishes across the rift for both teams. when we looked last at Chaotic Blaze, how they ended up looking so good was honestly from a lot of their team fights. It wasn't even from their skirmishes, but in this game, their lanes are looking so much stronger than I think anyone would have expected out of a 32 seed coming into this one. Like Jbear is getting pretty decent trades here against Diesel's Aatrox. The fact that Moss is winning and Diesel nearly taking out the flash in from Jbear to slap him with the Natofu blades. He might fall, but he does kill Diesel in the process. Ooh, good pull from Latence, landing on a dtro. It's a battle dance back to Bazz. Back and forth between the two sides. KurfYou did get that lethal tempo. Not connecting the piercing arrow. That wouldn't have killed dtro, but definitely could have resulted in maybe a flash. Shockwave, whoa! Moss, that damage! With the Zork boots already in the inventory. XiaoDanny was not ready for that. Command attack and Latence, again, perfect placement every time. Doesn't even go for the auto attack because he didn't need this. Wait a minute. XiaoDanny, you back in the worst spot at top lane. Diesel and Jbear fighting once again. The pull back in Jbear, ripping them apart. Chaotic Blaze. Every lane is winning. All sides of the map are destroying Sleepy Callers. Going into this game, would not have expected that. But have expected that if this game was going to be close, it was going to be through the team fights like we last saw from Chaotic Blaze. After getting that early first blood from Moz, then KurfYou's double kill. Cyan helping out top lane Jbear after already getting the kill on Diesel, sure dying to the turret. Then gets a solo bolo against an Aatrox as Cassante. Cyan gets those Void Grubs. Seems like everything is Chaotic Blaze's way except for this mid lane now, as Moz gets pulled back in by the Emperor's Divide. The flash coming in from Excelsis. This will be the retribution kill. That equalizer not going to stop the shutdown. Going over to XiaoDanny. Getting on the scoreboard there for Sleepy Callers. Necessary. Had to have something work. So I think it was really starting to unravel in front of them. That's only one of many plays that they have to look for if they want to claw back into this game. Slowly drag themselves back into a position to actually compete against Chaotic Blaze. Because as I said, one of the biggest strengths we last saw from Chaotic Blaze was their team fights. Especially around Moss. With Moss playing this Orianna too. Really strong at team fights, don't get me wrong. Spiraling Despair, that burst of damage. Essentially just Fizz ult, but larger. Here, Moz with those shockwaves would be imperative, especially because you have a lot of wombo combo. And just realize, depth charge, shockwave, all on top of an equalizer. You're gonna melt here. Who's gonna absorb that damage? No one can. Only Excelsis if it's a Crescent Strike, but you're still taking some form of damage, especially if Latence is diving in there, or Cyan as well. So when it comes for Sleepy Callers here, I'm looking at how they can position themselves to deny some of that wombo combo. Deny some of these plays. Moss getting spotted out by that vision, placed down by dtro and Bazz. Good start here. Doing their best to clear out the wave, but when you're an Ezreal Rakan lane, see how slow that is. Even Excelsis is in the back pocket. Hanging out ready. Moss, they know you're there. Chains of Corruption comes out. Depth charge, but the pull back in. They already burst down dtro before Excelsis could back him up. XiaoDanny about to show up, waiting for the Shreema slide, but doesn't even want to go for it. Instead, peels back, and now he's in a bad spot because Cyan is ready to collapse. Equalizer, slowing him down just a little bit, but the Blasco and XiaoDanny then back towards the lane. As Moss moving fast there with the help of that shrine from the Rift Scuttler. XiaoDanny will get out of there. Just takes a lot of damage for it. Even with full information there. That's what I was talking about. That burst of damage. You cannot absorb that. There's just no way. No matter who it tags here, Sleepy Callers are going to get burst down every single fight. 3-1 now for Moss in this mid lane. Oriana feeling really good. Even canceling the backs there of XiaoDanny, making sure he can't make it a bit more of an even battle in the mid lane. That's why Sleepy Colors are calling up dtro. Help out, push that wave. Wave. There we go, I can talk. That's what happens when you cast a lot of games. It's okay. You stick in it. We look at Sleepy Colors, a team that has been upset already here in the Swiss rounds. Team that got seeded 10th. Insane talented lineup here. Diesel, XiaoDanny, dtro, all of them been around for some time. Excelsis and Bazz, a bit newer on the scene, at least in my, like, people I've casted. But still, I've been very talented, but unfortunately, seem to struggle here. Well, the 32 Chaotic Blaze, they've already almost upset once, and we watched. Feels like, and that was close. That was, what was that, a 49-minute game, I think, against Gentle Hearts? Absolutely crazy game. They narrowly lost. Here, they've got quite the lead here. They already get one of the Void Grubs. Probably going to get all 6. Yeah, 5 will be 6. Only the first dragon now will be taken by either team. Kind of shows you how far behind Sleepy Colors are. The fact that the first Void Grubs were not only uncontested, but unanswered across the rift. Nothing was gained for that take beforehand. Cyan was able to easily get them, now gets all 6. Well, it will be an Hextech Dragon. Alright, honestly, it's not bad here for Chaotic Blaze. That slowed down a little bit in the game. Works well for Sleepy Colors. Gives them a little bit of breathing room. A little bit of time to relax. Reset the mental. Well, for Chaotic Blaze, also gives them time to strategize. There's a team that I've really liked their team fights, how they work together as a unit. I think once we get out of lane phase, this turret plate's only 1 minute and 15 left. Might see a little bit more skirmishing in the lane phase, but I'm expecting to see Chaotic Blaze start to group up together. Start to work together as one. Burn a trail across the rift. Let's just hope Sleepy Colors are awake to answer the phone when that happens. His items are getting built. Malignance there for Moss. And Malignance. What a busted item. On certain champs, it is so strong. Like right here. Oh, no. I thought maybe Moss might just use the shockwave. Just command dissonance. XiaoDanny's like, let me recall. Come on. I want my not mythic. Oh my god, I almost said mythic. Mythics ain't in the game anymore, Magical. They took those out. Legendary. I want my first item. dtro had to path back up into the mid lane, secure that recall for his mid laner. All the while, we see a bit more skirmishing here in that top lane, and guess who is here? Jungle mid duo, the Flash and the World Ender, but that shockwave burst of damage. That Malignance, the eviscerating Diesel. And this is what I was talking about. How do you absorb that damage? You're an Aatrox, you're like, yeah, I can drain tank, right? I can heal up forever. Not when you get burst down like that. KurfYou about to get dove. We've seen this happen once, but he was with a support before. The flash in, the quickness does not help out. It's a trade of 1-for-1 as KurfYou. There's KurfYou in that bot lane. The dive again, not working for Sleepy Colors. All the while, Cyan taking a Rift Herald in the top lane. Oh man, that just feels like it's been the problem right now for Sleepy Colors in this game. The plays that they are making aren't working well. And then, because they're not working well, on the other side of the map, the answer that would normally be there for a Chaotic Blaze if the play did work out well is essentially not an even trade anymore. Rift Herald for a trade of 1-for-1 in the bot lane. The only good saving grace of that bot lane play here for Sleepy Colors is the fact they got that turret. Getting that for Bazz is going to help out a lot, as you can see. Pretty to force out in the inventory of Ezreal. Already had that Tear of the Goddess beforehand stacking up. Caulfield's Warhammer. Those are nice. Those are going to really help out, especially in about a minute 30 when the next dragon will spawn up, but that is a delayed dragon. Only one dragon has been taken in this game. Essentially meaning Soul? Not really likely. Unless this game somehow drags on really long. But here gets Diesel with the World Ender. That top lane was looking for Moss. Stay in this top lane. See how Moss is going to do. Excelsis jumping on him. Shockwave sombreroed onto Excelsis. A lot of damage. dtro pops the quickness, the flash away from Moss. A little bit of movement speed. The quickness dragon back in Moss for the shutdown. Moss did buy a lot of time for his team, though. 3 members had to go topside just to deal with them. 2 ults burned, which means this mid lane tier 1, it will fall. More gold collected here for Chaotic Blaze. Diesel might get this top lane. There is TP for Moss, but 10 seconds until respawn. Turret should fall, which collectively, if we look at the play, that actually does work out well for Sleepy Colors. Essentially 2 turrets. Oh no, they don't get it. Ran out of minions. And then seeing on the mini-map, you see that Jbear and Cyan. There's no World Ender here for Diesel. That is an equalizer. Equalizing this battle with an electric harpoon. The pull back in. The burn, baby, burn. You cannot heal through Cyan. As Blaze take down Diesel for a 4th time in this game. This just ain't looking good for Sleepy Colors right now. 4,000 gold for Chaotic Blaze. The dragon up. Thought maybe, just maybe, we'd see the pull there. Go for it. The second dragon of the game. I did say that the Soul is not likely. It's not impossible. If you drag out this game for Sleepy Colors, you could start making it so that maybe the Soul is your answer. Is nice cancel there from dtro. Denying that TP to help out Jbear with this turret, but it's going to be TP from XiaoDanny. Turret's not going to fall. And keeping Moss there in that bot lane, taking the dragon for themselves. A lot gained here for Sleepy Colors as Cyan rode the bus into a bad spot, and he will be the one burned this time around as they've locked down Latence. Here's Diesel, and look at how fast that World Ender is. Double kill out of Bazz. Nice Darkened Blade slams down the hammer. As KurfYou finally falls to the might of Diesel. This turret, too, could be bulldozed, but without the minions, Moss getting rid of them. Denying a little bit there from the side of Sleepy Colors, but that is a good read out of our 10-seeded team here in the open qualifiers. Realizing Cyan way too far out there. Got baited in. He wanted a Tokyo Drift. Then he crashed and burned. They're getting a bit more gold back for themselves. That 4,000 has shrunk just slightly. Just a little bit of gold. Hasn't completely made up for it, but nearly cutting the gold lead in half. So there's a lot of plays that needed to work out for Sleepy Colors to get back in this game. That was one of them, you know, one of many. One of many. Still down, but not out. Maybe a pick here on the Latence can help out, too. Tries to Spider-Man out of there. dtro spotted him out. Grand Entrance not going to connect, nor is the Quill. They'll let Nautilus out of here. Pretty speedy for someone in a suit of armor. Excelsis jumped on him by Jbear. Pulled back in with the all-out as well. That Crescent Strike doesn't do much when they're on top of you, but an Equalizer trying to burn down XiaoDanny over the wall. Not going to be buffered out. They got the pick on it to 1, looking for others. As they got a little bit of a Sarima shuffle out of XiaoDanny. Bazz on the other side looking for a little bit of poke, but they cannot fight back. Jbear's got to be careful. Cyan going in. Flame Spitter does not burn up anybody. In fact, you're the ones blazing out here, Blaze. You've lost out on your jungler. 1-for-1 trade. But both teams not done. XiaoDanny dodging away from the shockwave. Sarima shuffle dancing his way out of battle. That pick could have been bad. Bazz does take the command attack dissonance to the face. These fights are a lot closer than they really should be here. Blaze overcommitting after getting that pick onto Diesel. So badly, they want to get not just a lead, but they want to snowball this game out of control. The hope there was not only that you kill Diesel, but you get Excelsis, and then that is Baron. 20 minutes into the game. But alas, it was Cyan. If any jungler fell, there we go. If any jungler fell, it was Cyan that did. Meaning, any Baron question was answered with a firm no. Concrete, that ain't happening, Chief. So the gold lead kind of bouncing back and forth between 2,000 to 5,000. The bigger thing are the items that are getting completed here. Double items for Cyan with that Rift Maker. There's about half an item lead over Excelsis, and you can see that in the gold. Not much of a lead, but somewhat of a lead. Biggest thing is still the mid and top, the solo lanes. Those are where the leads are for Chaotic Blaze. And having that Rabadon's death cap now picked up by Moss. Truly, that is what could dictate this game. TP, we saw that into the top lane. With a thick wall there, this island of top lane. On the old Rift, that easily could have been a chase down, but on the new Rift, not so much, not so much. Getting just a couple TPs, both mid laners using them. XiaoDanny used that to get into mid lane. Was ready for an attempted take onto Baron. Afraid maybe there was a rush on the Baron, especially with the on-hit Varus. That is one of the nice things about having on-hit Varus. You do actually take Baron a lot faster. But the fastest one will still be XiaoDanny. Azir, Baron take. Melts through those, and even having the Banshees surviving a little bit more, but that poke, KurfYou, even if it's not the poke Varus, landing a Q will get rid of that shield and just make it a bit easier for potential play with the dragon spawning up here. 5 seconds. No answer out of Sleepy Callers. Oh, or is there? Ready. Eat my words there, because they were appealing for that Baron, but then there's a push back. Say, all right, if you go for that dragon, we take the Baron. We have an Azir. You cannot take that dragon faster than Azir can take Baron. I promise you on that. So maybe they can get a pick here on it to XiaoDanny. Then we could see the peel back in. But if you get a pick on XiaoDanny, then you're going for the Baron yourself. At least if you're Chaotic Blaze. But instead, they'll topple a turret, pick up some gold, and all the while Diesel with that TP still there. Ooh, could have committed more for the turret. Could have gotten a little bit more damage, but getting called off. They need him for the fight. Even if he's 2 and 5. 2 items. Black Cleaver with that Sundered Sky. Pretty big. Here's the Equalizer blocking all the damage. Excelsis not worried because Diesel's here to save the day, ending the powerhouse that was that mid lane. But he's got to be careful. Latence is still there with Cyan, but they already got the double kill. They're not burning up their fuels this time around. They're burning up Blaze. They've gotten a 3-for-2 trade. But Jbear diving back in, still fighting it all out. The pull in. Cyan, Hex flashing in with the electric harpoon. Bazz getting burned down, but he's the one that burns back Cyan for an ace. Sleepy Callers. Beautiful plays there. Kiting it back out perfectly. It's a delayed ace. But it is in total a 3-for-5. Dragon for Sleepy Callers. I was worried about the potential soul beforehand. Now, that is the play here for Sleepy Callers. Got 3 of them for themselves. A Mountain Soul, going to be really nice here. It's a lot of that damage. I said before how that is the problem. Who's going to be the front line for Sleepy Callers? I don't really have that, especially against a lot of that damage on the other side, and then the resistance shred out of Malignance. Well, a Mountain Soul with a nice shield, and get even if it's just 2 of the Mountain Dragons, that's some resistances you could utilize. That's going to be pretty nice. As Latence gets jumped on by Excellence. Getting a bit of damage back. That equalizer and the burst in with a flash from Cyan. Out of nowhere, RKO's Diesel. 3 gone. Sleepy Callers, they did not answer the phone in time. And they're the ones pushed back by Chaotic Blaze. I wasn't even ready for that. Who expects the flash in from a jungle rumble to get a shockwave ball delivery service? Now XiaoDanny on the other side, spotted out by Latence. The peel back in, Emperor's Divide, only pushing back Nautilus. Jbear can chase down, all's out on Bazz. Waiting for the dash over the wall, he flashed for it, saying, get back here, shut down for Moz. And like a boss, Moz and the rest of Chaotic Blaze will take themselves the purple worm. Where I thought that Sleepy Callers were starting to take control of the game, Chaotic Blaze, and a flurry of action. Throw it right back in the face of Sleepy Callers. And with not only now the Baron on their heads, but 3 items for almost every one of them that is important outside of the support. But even the supports got 2 items and a component. Chaotic Blaze have massive leads now. Jack Show, Iceborne, Zeeks for Jbear, Riftmaker, Void Staff, Leandries for Cyan, Deathcap, Void Staff, Malignant for Moss. Just need KurfYou to get that 3rd item. But with Blade of the Ruin King and Terminus, you can't escape from them. It's hard to kill KurfYou. As well, they can just chase you down. So the game plan now, I said it before, 4 Sleepy Callers is around the soul, but there's still 2 minutes until that spawns. Wait, that's a deep TP. They don't know that Jbear is going to be here. Sneaky, sneaky. Finds out that Diesel is there too. They realize Jbear. Oh no! They pulled back in Moz, waiting for the shutdown, but they got the shutdown on Diesel instead. Another close fight. Diesel healing up a lot, but the burn from Blaze. It's always there. Cyan. 3-item rumble. Nobody can take that damage to the face. And 3 for only Moss. Chaotic Blaze still have 4 members with Baron buff. This push will be unanswered. Maybe Bazz can take down the tier 2 mid lane. But with the Void Mites, with the Baron buff, these turrets are gonna melt. Bazz, you're not even getting the tier 2 in time. They're already sieging the inhibitor. That's gone. Inhibitor turret out of the equation. Inhibitor to fall. 4 seconds until XiaoDanny's here. Do they continue this push? Do they look for the Nexus turret? That's a TP from Moss. XiaoDanny's here. The engage double knockup with the Grand Engine from dtro. They got the knockup as well as the Latence. Shockwave in the back line. Almost getting the kill on a XiaoDanny. Chaotic Blaze. 32 seed inside of the base, sieging Nexus turrets. You gotta fight now. Sleepy Callers, don't fall asleep at the wheel as you lost out on Excelsis, but dtro, huge quickness, locks them all in place for Bazz to start cleaning up. But they gotta be careful. That was the cleanse being used by Bazz. XiaoDanny, the carries. Jbear cannot escape from the den this time around, so he chooses battle, but he's pulled back in by the Emperor himself and will fall to the might of Sleepy Callers, who now, no way, they're TPing in mid lane. Latence gets back, but XiaoDanny, he'll get the inhibitor in mid lane. Oh my goodness. This game just got interesting. I thought this was over. I thought Chaotic Blaze were gonna get the ultimate upset. But not quite yet. Dragon spawning. Mountain Soul on the line. No TPs for Chaotic Blaze. No cheeky backdoor this time around. Not for a bit, at least. As it will be the Mountain Soul for Sleepy Callers. And you're going to be quite content with that one. Give him a bit of a fair shake in these team fights. No longer have to worry about Baron, but you do have to worry about an exposed Nexus. And Jbear not having all that much longer until that will be back up. 2 minutes until the next Baron. I'm just going to look to see if there's going to be a cheeky ward placed down. Chaotic Blaze can easily put down a ward. That's why you see those control wards. Look at that. Look at this. Control wards just to make sure no cheeky TPs. A lot of vision here too. Look at this. All this vision here. Just to spot them out so they can corral them all here. And they're even getting vision control. Sleepy Colors. Good calls here. Well, Chaotic Blaze. They're not going to quite end the game just yet. At least they'll get a little bit of gold. Slowly pushing back that vision that had been secured by dtro on this top side. I don't think we'll see a fight for a minute. When the Baron spawns, Chaotic Blaze can force the hands here of Sleepy Colors. I would like to say that, well, I mean, if you're really cheeky about it, right, there is a path, right? Look at this. Sneak in here. Get up here and go around that. Put the ward right there. I can sneak up there. So there are ways. There are ways. We'll have to see, though. Chaotic Blaze. I can't believe that we are on the precipice of having the 32 seed take down one of our top 10 teams. They almost got the win against Gentle Hearts Gaming. It was so close between those two. The verge of greatness. We're this close. Maybe this is their retribution. Well, Sleepy Colors don't want to be the team to get upset. Not here, not now. A team that had so much hype around them. Jbear, a good buffer, was afraid that the engage could have come in. Even if he's very tanky here on that Cassante. 4 items now. Organic Recurn in the inventory. We're seeing a lot of people with 4 items. KurfYou's got 4 items. Working on that 4th of the pull in onto Teasel. Do they engage? That's going to be a nice equalizer. The burn onto Teasel. He's gone. With the engage on the other side, dtro could do nothing to help out. There's no pull, but they don't need it. Sarima Shuffle with the Emperor's Defied, causing a little bit of a rift between the two, but that is a huge shockwave. Getting a lot of damage and pulling in Excelsis for KurfYou to take him out and silence any resistance. We're getting the TPs, or not TPs, we're getting the pings. XiaoDanny. He's getting forced away. Bazz is still underneath this turret, helping out the best he can, but they're going to lose out on the mid lane, and with Bazz having nowhere to retreat, he'll be finished off, not pulled in, but it doesn't matter. Kill or no kill, game or no game, Nexus is going to die. Cyan and Moss are in the base. The upset. Wait a minute. Is it going to be there? That snipe. No way, Bazz. He stopped one falling. It is going to be the inhibitor respawning, though, in the nick of time, but not long enough, because Moz was able to get rid of that. And then the Nexus. Chaotic Blaze upset Sleepy Colors.